since Madam Sophia Akuffo started speaking on a year Torkornoo's dismissal and sack from a year the judiciary, she has not stated any facts. Emma Nasam looking unique and different from the ordinary Ghanaian on the streets. Sometimes when she speaks and you listen, you ask yourself, say, does she even have any law background? Has she learned the law? Does she understand that before you speak against the Constitution, before you disagree with the laws or due process, you need to have a counterfactual argument to prove, say, your case you are making, that is the reason why you do not agree to a specific decision that has been taken. And recently, since Madam Torkornoo was sacked, I have seen that this woman has dropped from where she used to be, how we used to see her, the respect people like us used to give her, because at a point, she sat on TV and told some people that they have pin brain. But some of her utterances, her submissions on the sack of Torkornoo, it is looking more like she is basically putting herself in the pin brain family. With all due respect, I respect this woman a lot. Now, these are some of the things she said about the Madam Torkornoo issue, sacking her as the Chief Justice and also as a judge in Ghana. These are some of her statements. Or say, they or the allegations contained in petition lack the gravity that will lead to a grave outcome, such as the removal of the head of an institution of justice. Now, if you say the allegations contained in the petition, now, Madam Torkornoo was given every room to defend herself. In fact, the president, when he received the petition, he actually gave Madam Torkornoo 10 days, even though now Madam Torkornoo asked for just 7 days. Madam Torkornoo was given the room to look at the petition, the allegations in the petition. And you as a judge, when people enter your courtroom, there is a reason why you give them the room to go for a lawyer, to express themselves, defend themselves with the facts, to prove their innocence. The process gave Torkornoo all the room to prove her innocence. That is why Torkornoo went for a lawyer. In fact, she went for 2 MPP lawyers. That is why the president gave Torkornoo enough time to study the allegations in the petition. So you cannot just say that the petition, what are the allegations that were contained in the petition, they lack gravity. On what basis are you able to prove that they lack gravity? Were you, or do you have any counter facts to prove that the allegations that were contained in the petition lacked gravity? It is upon Torkornoo and her lawyers to prove to the committee that the allegations lacked it, unless you have other ideas, unless you don't want to respect due process, unless you are being mischievous as a former Chief Justice who understands how the law works and how people are given the room to defend themselves. When I heard her speak like this, I felt so bad. I felt like the woman that I respect is forcing herself to be part of the pin brain people that she has been referring to. Because if I make such statement, I have to make it. You can sit anywhere else and say, this guy, he does not have the know-how. He does not have the expertise. He does not have any knowledge about law. He has not been a lawyer before. He's not a judge. He has never sat in any high-profile case. So we can give it to him. But you, when you make such vague a statement without proving that the allegations in the petition, the gravity lacked what you say, it lacked that gravity, it means you are speaking out of emotions. You are making a moral argument. You are not making a factual argument. And moral argument can be made by anyone. But factual argument, it's always made by people who are intelligent enough to separate Gary from rice. So, but you as a person, I respect you, especially with the baggage you carry as an ex-Chief Justice and a legal professional. somebody who knows the law. Now, Osaka Sembi. Momianko tie in Sembia or Kafa a yet Torkornoo Asem no ho. Biwia na machro why this woman is forcing herself to be grouped or to be added to the pin brain people she has been referring to.
I'm very sad about it. It has really saddened me. And maybe in a way, I feel very distressed by it. Yes.
Mm. In terms of the conclusion that was reached, where the matter has journeyed from, is the sadness as a result of the conclusion, or you have questions about the procedure that took place before that?
The sadness is about the whole process. My sadness is because as far as I'm concerned, it was a very unnecessary. We have been taken through a very unnecessary situation, and which, as far as I'm concerned, and that is my honest and candid view, this has so weakened the institution of the judiciary. It's not so much the individual who occupies the position. It is the institution. That is what I'm concerned about.
Mm. I mean, what informs the conclusion that it's an unnecessary process? I mean, we have heard even government spokesperson make the point that a petition was sent, a committee in line with the constitution was set up, they've looked into the matter and they've come to a conclusion. Which aspect of it, what specifically makes that necessary?
I think that, you see, there has always been something wrong with Article 146. And particularly with the procedure that it sets out, and especially as it regards the position of the Chief Justice. In the Agyapong case, I took the opportunity to reflect on that weakness that I noticed. And are these and these are not so, to me, they lack the gravity. They lack the gravity that would lead to a grave outcome, such as the removal of the head of an institution of justice. Mm. I've deliberately phrased myself that way. It trivializes the position, and I wonder what this is going to lead to further on along the line, because every judge is fair game and every Chief Justice is also fair game.
Mm. I mean, is that to suggest that you suspect there could be a ripple effect in that?
Oh, definitely. It's not suspect. I foresee, not tomorrow, maybe not next year, maybe not in 5 years' time, but along the line, yes, unless those provisions are dealt with effectively in a revised constitution.
Mm. Maybe a more direct question. I have seen the letter that was written by the Secretary to the President to the former Chief Justice.
And that's the other thing. Mm. A warrant, a person holding a presidential warrant, that's what the position is. It's you become Chief Justice because you have received a presidential warrant. You can receive all kinds of letters that you are hereby appointed, but if you don't have that warrant, does that make you Chief Justice? Yeah, okay. So if you're removing the person from the position, is it a subordinate who signs the letter? Is that the way it's supposed to be done. That's just by the way. Food for thought.
Yeah, but I've seen a warrant as well signed by His Excellency the President.
So why are they showing us that one? I've been receiving all kinds of messages, and every one of them is only bringing out that letter. And in any case, is it polite? Is it proper that it should be a subordinate who writes a letter of removal to a Chief Justice?
When we go back into history, this woman called Madam Sophia Akuffo, she was the Chief Justice for 3 years. Now, this is something that we need to go back and analyze. When Charlotte Osei, people petitioned the president to say, Yenyi Charlotte Osei, Madam Sophia Akuffo had been appointed about 6 months. And when Madam Sophia Akuffo was appointed as the Chief Justice, within that 6 months, Grandpa Anson Obedi Bear 6 months, 8 months, she initiated the sacking of Charlotte Osei, and she initiated it and based everything on Article 146 that she is trying to tell us she has always had a problem with. The same Article 1469 that she's always had a problem with. It has been the same Article 419, or it was the same Article 419, or it is the same Article 419 she based on to make sure Charlotte Osei and her 2 deputies were sacked from the Electoral Commission. We are trying to let people understand, say, you're disrespecting penny for. But you're penny for ni bi oha, nyome bi omo ye. No, we need to correct them before they die. Because on say, oya nyome bi adu point to be, now we nyini, now refuse ho, na say uncorrect wa. What they say atrono and say nyoma to be ko womb. And that is what we are trying to prevent. Now, avoid contempt against committee probing EC officials. CJ warns, when Charlotte Osei assembly by Madam Sophia Akuffo extra letter the chere Ghana for say, Mema obianka asem no ho asem kura media so. Say unim na kwatena TV so na wo discuss it. Eya petition na ye de abre no, ye de abre president ye de abre no na you are what court mraso, contempt of court at you. She basically wrote a statement and put it out. That is autocracy. Oka obiaka kasabwa shed yem. This is Sophia Akuffo. Dear me born the video channel. She was the Chief Justice then. Time a petition by no. Nana Danko Akufo Addo gave the petition to her. Nana Danko Akufo Addo didn't give the petition to Charlotte Osei to study and her deputies. Like the way John Mahama gave the petition to Torkornoo to study for 10 days. Nana Danko Akufo Addo received a petition against Charlotte Osei and her deputies. She did not give Charlotte Osei the room to even look at what is in the petition. No. He quickly gave the petition to Sophia Akuffo as the Chief Justice for the process to start working. In the time Ekodi ni hono and release statement, I'm talking about Sophia Akuffo. Yeah. Avoid contempt against committee probing EC officials. Time petition kodu committee enim na omu probi petition no and at CJ Emma Ghana for nyina warning. Wa we ye bema ana oba a obebusa question. Obe raise issue. Obe question system no. You what contempt at show. You bet you what. This is the same woman who today is telling us say ya boni emono enche obe wunti yentie ono ne nyansa. With all due respect. Now when you read the story, this is what it says. Let me enlarge it. The facts are there. This is City. Date Shaso December 19, 2017. Reading time 4 minutes. Read. What the 4 minutes is a kind story in a way. Inti facts in no. You read the story no. The Chief Justice Sophia Akuffo has formally constituted a committee to investigate the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, and her 2 deputies over corruption allegations leveled against them, with a caution to the general public to desist from making demeaning comments about their work. Miami way eti committee. Akufo Addo second petition no and the man as a Chief Justice then and on the command committee committee and on sacral letter ma Ghana for so bianca nuntum. Nobody in Ghana. This was the warning from Madam Sophia Akuffo now to work as ano. With all due respect to her. Me person who the kind of people, the pin brain people, no, and I make sure no. These are people we have to be careful about. Today, she's part of the Council of State. Now, I'll call the second paragraph. This is what it says. Already, some members of the opposition National Democratic Congress, NDC, have started criticizing the process, accusing the government of seeking to hound the EC boss, Charlotte say. Into that time, now, started start here, no, and the NDC for started say, Omokasa say no. CBA process ne kone de. I say, abane faso, ekwan biso apam Charlotte, because NDC forecast say, Adenti Akufo Addo saka petition, no, one farmer Charlotte, ready. Or the comma Chief Justice. So the NDC were making an argument to say, if the president even wants to, based on Article 1469, to make sure the due process is followed, why is he not giving Charlotte Osei the room to even look at the allegations before moving the petition to the Chief Justice? So the NDC started questioning. When a Chief Justice Ethics Committee or started warning the Breg Ghana for say nobody should speak. In fact, let me read the rest of the story. When you read the rest of the story, this is what it says. Let me enlarge it. There are some people we are not supposed to take serious again in Ghana. This is the story. This is what it says. The Chief Justice, Sophia Akuffo, has formally constituted a committee to investigate the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, and her two deputies over corruption allegations leveled against them, with a caution to the general public to desist from making demeaning comments about their work. Already, some members of the opposition National Democratic Congress have started criticizing the process, accusing the government of seeking to hound the EC boss, Charlotte Osei. The three officials met the Chief Justice a week ago, where they were notified. This is city reporting. Charlotte Sophia Akuffo, how dangerous she is as a former Chief Justice. Story say the three officials, meaning Charlotte Osei and the two deputies, the three officials met the Chief Justice a week ago, where they were notified that a prima facie case have been established against them. It's when Akufo Addo received the petition. That petition Akufo Addo received, he never said anything to Charlotte Osei and her two deputies. All that Akufo Addo did was that he moved the petition and gave to Sophia, who is the Chief Justice. And what Sophia did was that Sophia just called them and told them, say, I have received a petition from the president and that a prima facie case has been leveled against you, without Charlotte Osei knowing what is in the petition. That is what Sophia Akuffo did. Sophia Akuffo, of friend Charlotte, and then the two deputies no more ban ho. One for petition and chromo. One chromo anything in the petition. Charlotte and her two deputies did not even have a clue of why they were called to the Chief Justice office. They were called as electoral commission chairperson and her deputies. The Chief Justice called them to come to her office. And when Charlotte Mudru Hono, Sophia Akuffo Kachiro say, Mensa aka petition from the president and petition in Muno, a primary facie case has been leveled against you. Intimate committee. Charlotte Osei said, we want to see the allegations in the petition. I said, no. I know more these people, sometimes they chew their fingers, they chew their asses, and they'll come and ask us who ate their ass. This is what Akufo Addo and this woman did. Today, this woman is telling us that we have murdered sleep. She murdered sleep in 2017. That is why she's sleeping no more. Sophia Akuffo already murdered sleep. She murdered sleep when she was the Chief Justice. She murdered sleep. That is why she's not able to sleep no more, because she knew what was supposed to be done. She didn't do it. Now, who read this story? This is what it says. Now, I quote, the general public is hereby informed that her ladyship, the Chief Justice, and I'm talking about the statement she put out. And I quote, the general public is hereby informed. These are the strict statement Sophia Akuffo as the Chief Justice then put out to the public. after receiving a one fan Charlotte mo. Remember, John Mahama received petition or the Torkornoo for 10 days. Torkornoo asked for 7 days. John Mahama said take 10 days. Akufo Addo received Charlotte Osei petition. He gave it to Sophia. Sophia did not show it to Charlotte Osei. Sophia went ahead to put together a committee. Sophia sat in her office and established a prima facie case against Charlotte Osei and her 2 deputies. John Mahama did not sit in his office to establish that. John Mahama called the Chief Justice and said, a petition has been leveled, a petition has been brought, and it's against you. Take the petition and read and see what is in there. But Sophia and Akufo Addo came together and decided to establish a prima facie case against Charlotte. This woman is today sitting there pretending say she never murdered sleep. Now this is the statement she put out those times. These are disingenuous people. Let's not look at them in their slow language and low tone and think that they are some extraordinary people with some good record. Thank you very much, team. Thank you for bringing this in. Now, so after a fresh Charlotte Osei ban office lo catch mummy and sa president today petition bia breme ya level some prima facie case against you people, so me ba beti committee monko eno pamo omo. Now owie no eno sa chiro letter to mfrem me say ma obi anka committee na watere ho asem. The general public is hereby informed that her ladyship, the Chief Justice, Justice Sophia A.B. Akuffo, in accordance with Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution, has set up a 5-member committee to investigate allegations brought against the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mrs. Charlotte Osei, and her 2 deputies, Mr. Amadou Sule and Mrs. Georgina Apapon Amankwa. End of quote. Owieno releases statement say, Ojina 1992 Constitution, so Article 146 now, or say she has a problem with. When Charlotte Osei's case came, she used the same article and put together a committee, a 5-member committee. It was based on the article, no, to the committee, you know. Today, this woman is telling you, say, she has a problem with the same article now. And so Ediama Torkornoo Akko through the process. Now, unim say, time of fresh Charlotte Osei eba office. Okache Charlotte Osei say, and Akufo Addo the petition be abreme. Now, me na me Chief Justice, me study petition. We have established that you people, you have committed some crime. Now, mameka be in jail. Charlotte Osei, at the end of the day, on the deputies, you know, they actually asked the Chief Justice. That's our 2 story, so. This is what Charlotte Osei asked. Give me a copy of my removal petition. Charlotte Osei to Chief Justice, Madam Sophia Akuffo. Charlotte Osei can say, I want to see a copy of the allegation. Petition Ekuta wo Sophia no. Give me a copy. Let me read and see what is in the petition. Sophia Akuffo said, no, fuck off. And wabodu Kwabena TV so. We are using technology to expose these people because they have no credibility and they are the people who have destroyed this democracy. They hide behind intellectuality. They hide behind statesmanship. They hide behind age. And they lie and destroy the core principles of our democracy. Charlotte Osei pleaded with this woman, give me the petition, please. I want to see it. My deputies want to see. The woman said no. The embattled chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Charlotte Osei, has called on the Chief Justice Committee probing her and her 2 deputies to furnish her with a copy of the petition seeking her removal. Okache say, madam, wo any committee no, mon for petition ne mame. Na me read the womb. Sophia Akuffo kaje so fa ne kwase anko. Today, Sophia Akuffo gina okache say, onim nyansa che Ghana ni bia. We should all go fuck ourselves. Oni ne nim nyansa okasa obi anko da. Na oni bibi. Charlotte Osei wie no. And Charlotte Osei decided so obekọ Akufo Addo akobuse Akufo Addo say, when I second petition first, and I want to forward the come Chief Justice no. Into Chief Justice in Femia, please can you also give me the petition? As some way the Akufo Addo catch no. Now the danko Akufo Addo catch Charlotte Osei say, no petition is here. Go and search for it. Akufo Addo catch Charlotte Osei say, only petition bia. Charlotte say call presidency. Ekache Mr. President, una receive petition now with the man Chief Justice. Mebusa Chief Justice for the petition. She is not minding me. I also want you to give me the petition. Send a mehu allegations. No, Akufo Addo say, I don't have any petition at the presidency. Sanko for way na and Omokache say they are morally, they are intelligent, morally, they have the right to speak on Ghana's issues. Sophia Akuffo. Yepe Chief Justice omumra. Omunya tumi, omdidi nsem hunu Ghana. You cannot pick Sophia Akuffo out. A governor catcher Charlotte say, on any petition be our free on call. So, in reality, no, Charlotte said did not see the petition. It's all committee, no, not only question pa yeko busano. And remember, the committee was put together by Sophia Akuffo. She actually put the commission together. In fact, when you read the story, this is what the story says. Let's go to the second paragraph of the story. I mean, sure, petition, no, nipa okika omubomu. She was even part of the committee. In a statement signed by the Judicial Secretary, Justice Alex B. Kweku Agyapong, the Chief Justice said anyone who makes comment that undermine the work of the committee will be cited for contempt. Now, who can story anymore or say the release, which failed to indicate the names of the committee members, as well as the release. Now, in a release copied to cityfmonline.com, the Judicial Secretary said the sitting of the committee will be closed to the public. In the omudi letter by no, omukacha Ghana for you say, Sophia Akuffo, what committee, and so committee no, enya de obi abehu committee no. Adwuma mbedi nyina no, it will be behind closed doors. Enya de obi abenya committee no krampo, nipa omote committee no so no. Sophia Akuffo did not tell Ghanaians. John Dramani Mahama, he allowed due process. We got to know who the people who were going to sit on the committee. We all know their profiles. And so Sophia Akuffo ni Akufo Addo. Sophia Akuffo put together a 5-member committee. She didn't tell us their names. She didn't show Charlotte Osei and her 2 deputies the petition, the allegations in it. This woman, after that, sent a statement out to warn everybody to shut up. This is an autocrat. She's a dictator. And she wants to sound like she's the most intelligent person in Ghana. Now, who read this story now? Let me show you this. The release, which failed to indicate the names of the committee members, as well as states exactly when the committee will start its work, said it will be chaired by a justice of the Supreme Court. Or really this statement said, what a 5-member committee and omono mobabetna eye Charlotte Osei case this no wan chere obia obetna so wan bodin wan chere location but your kind say committee no nipa obe chair sa committee na ombeto to Charlotte Osei mo ano no nipa owo Supreme Court Sophia Akuffo. This woman is bad news. I'm not in the position to insult her when you tell me, but I'm exposing her. I'm making you know she is not somebody to be trusted. If she has a problem with the Council of State, she should resign tomorrow and stop the nonsense grammar that she's hiding behind. She belongs to the pin brain group that lies to protect criminals. Yeah. Now, Uko Enima, and I quote, the committee, this is the letter from Chief Justice Sophia, those times, and the quote, the committee, which will sit in camera, in line with normal practice, consists of 3 justices of the Superior Court appointed by the Judicial Council and 2 other persons appointed by the Chief Justice. On the advice of the Council of State, the committee is chaired by a justice of the Supreme Court. Or say committee na oti judge for me and some Supreme Court betra so. And a nupa mienu bi otade be kan no ono Sophia Akuffo na be choose sa nipa mienu no. Because at the end of the day, no, Sani pa obe chair a committee, no, a Council of State for, or say, and 2 other persons appointed by Chief Justice on the advice of the Council of State. Into Nipa 5 na, omodi omokono, 3 no, ebe judges almost Supreme Court, 2 na, almost abe no, a Council of State in a man petitions, permission say, or no, Chief Justice no, only Nipa mienu ope. and on one personally okoyi ne nanfofo mienu beka 3 judges are you say omo ankasa the judicial council na yi omo and odi omo te committee no say omo try Charlotte say and then the 2 deputies. These are people who cooked their own coup and execute the coup. This is what we call the Machiavellian tactics. They go out there, they create a petition, they bring the petition to themselves, they create a committee, and they cut you off. Machiavellian, no. When they're the dangerous part of our democracy, we leave too much loopholes for people like these. They destroy the principles of the democracy. They turn around to come and tell us we are stupid because they have had a problem with the constitution all along. They never had a problem with it until one of them is caught by the law. Charlotte Osei wasn't human, right? Her 2 deputies were not humans, right? Madam Torkornoo was given a VIP treatment by the constitution and the president of the republic. When you compare what you Sophia did to Charlotte Osei and her 2 deputies, and you look at the due process that Torkornoo went through, Torkornoo was given a presidential treatment. Torkornoo was given a presidential treatment. So calculate in some huna was Sophia. When Akufo Addo di Ghana as the Chief Justice. That means John Mahama is Jesus Christ. Torkornoo all the room to basically defend herself and even know what is in the petition before meeting the committee. By you. You, Sophia. You put together your own judges. You select your own friends. You don't even tell us when the committee is meeting, location. You don't even tell us the rules and regulations governing their job. You come to tell us you have a problem today. You this woman, you're so woman. I would with the sense of entitlement, you know. And then I sometimes I'm out with the Ghana ha. The last part of the story, and I quote. It is the expectation of the Chief Justice and the Judicial Council that the public will treat the committee with the respect and dignity it deserves, as it carries out its constitutional duty and refrain from making comments that will undermine the work of the committee, since infractions may amount to contempt. End of quote. We are not catching Ghana for say, wow, be no bo MPs for no, mo biankasa, wow, be kasa mecho. This autocratic, self-centered, self-bragging, pin-brain, entitled human being way, and now TV so catch say, we are stupid, you are smart, you have a problem with the due process. You abuse the due process, you abuse the constitution, Sophia. Sophia Akuffo, you deliberately abused it. Ekrobianka goes to jail. Yeah. If we decide to go back and follow due process, you should be rotting in jail. You, because you breached the constitution. You abused the constitution technically. And as we sit here, Charlotte Osei in any country can come back and protest that why didn't you people show her the petition, the allegations in the petition? You people have committed so much crime in Ghana, and you sit there, you want us to worship your weak asses, all because in the name of respect, you people don't respect the intelligence of the people. Into your mama's small opportunity, then you abuse the opportunity because you're Jimmy. These are the things you did. Or terminal reports na me really channel. This is what makes you a very dangerous human being. Because you see, we gave you too much power and you abused that power. We gave you too much power. So today, that's entitlement thing now a woman sono because you're Kufu. Because Ojin said you can come and discredit the presidency and discredit the same council of state that was part of this process. You technically were a sycophant that is not supposed to be part of the council of state. Because the decision the council of state took, you were part of that decision. So how do you turn around to come tell us, say, the issue, what you see is unnecessary situation, and that you have a problem with Article 146. The same Article 146, you and your Akufo Addo manipulated to make sure the people you don't like in office, you took them out. Did you give Charlotte the room to look at the allegations? You have no right, absolutely no moral right to even sit and grant an interview about Torkornoo's ejection. You have no right. You are supposed to be in jail for abusing the constitution. You people have no respect for the Ghanaian. Every single day, you always want to feel, say, when you touch on the emotional part of issues, it makes it right. No, you having a personal relationship with Torkornoo, you having a feeling or some feelings for Torkornoo, you treating Torkornoo as a woman, it's got nothing to do with the facts. Torkornoo, from day one when this process started, has she been able to point out one infractions in the constitution that wasn't applied well? By you deliberately denied people allegations, a petition. You set up a whole committee yourself. You put your friends on the committee. You select judges you like on the Supreme Court bench, and you sit on it to destroy somebody's career. Today, you open say to and your frow because what Net2 TV so can kwasi abrofubi. The entitlement. Mojin samuni munyansa chen obia. School papa ben na makwa and the Ghana you call internet so ayehu. A dear case law papa ben pa na mo ya. You want everybody to look like we are foolish. There's nothing extraordinary about you people. You get the opportunity. The opportunities you people got was because majority of us were daft. We could not check you people. We could not fact check you people. You people put some fear in us. You use that intellectual approach which was full of fear to suppress the people from knowing the truth. You have committed a lot of crimes by making sure, denying people we have elected into offices to work for us. You, Sophia. So today, we should stop everything. You are an embarrassment to Ghana. If you have a problem with Article 146, go and meet the Constitution Review Committee. Tell them what problem you have with them, with that part of the Constitution. If you have a problem, if you think you cannot work with the Council of State, get the fuck out of there and let somebody who is willing and ready to work there to be part of them. We cannot have sycophants, double-faced Jack Chance to be walking around and destroying our way to better democracy. We are not going to create any special protection for anybody in any government office. You know the rules and regulations that governs every institution that you are head of. You need to stay within the Constitution, stay within your rules, and that you'll be fine. If you go above, you go beyond, if you try to abuse that office, you have to be dealt with. That is how it works everywhere in the world. Because you people are creating that impression that Torkornoo flouting the law and the law dealing with her, it is the end of Ghana. Because you people are so entitled. You are part of the pin-brain people. You are a sycophant who is in sheep clothing inside the Council of State. Because you cannot step out of the Council of State as a team and come tell us that you disassociate yourself and this thing and this, that. So we should all stop and go pick our history books and write and take pictures of you. No.
Thanks for watching. Like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.